Welcome to another episode of Puddin's Training Tips, narrated by her mom. Today's lesson is on meet and greets, or owner-facilitated mutual circle investigations. Pet parents should not attempt meet and greets without the help of a professional. Pet parents should also be careful to hire a professional who is well trained in dog language, one who understands classical and operant conditioning. Pet parents should not employ any untrained or unskilled trainers, ones who use leash corrections, leash yanking, hangings, and those who would force face-to-face meetings with dogs. Be sure to hire a highly trained, skilled, and well-educated professional. Have you ever observed dogs who tend to get along fine with dogs whenever they're off leash, like in a dog park? But those same dogs can get reactive when meeting other dogs on leash. Dogs are reactive on leash for several reasons. When animals are in a stressful situation, our flight or fight response kicks in. When a dog is trapped on a leash, he or she loses that flight choice. So the dog might feel trapped and fearful, and a lot of times fearfulness looks like aggression to a lot of people. A tight leash can make a dog feel very uncomfortable, especially if the leash is attached to a regular collar or a choke chain, because there are pressure points on the neck that can make a dog reactive as well. One of the main reasons that dogs become reactive on leash, though, is because humans tend to affect dog communication. In American culture, it's customary when two humans are meeting each other to walk up to each other directly, face to face, and extend and shake hands. This is exactly the opposite of how the average dog would greet another dog. Watch dogs off leash and how they meet each other. They normally approach in an arc, and they never approach, or very barely approach, face to face. Once they meet, normally each dog will sniff each other's flews or side of the mouth. They might sniff each other's anal area, or they might sniff each other's genital area. And normally they move about in a circle while they're doing this. Now, knowing how dogs prefer to meet each other, humans can take this information to help dogs feel better about meeting other dogs. Now, of course, most dogs are more comfortable meeting off leash, but there are many times when this is just not safe, especially if you're not in an enclosed area. So how can pet parents help facilitate mutual circle investigations between dogs? Well, first and foremost, pet parents must make sure that the leash is loose whenever two dogs meet. Giving the dogs plenty of slack during the meetings will allow the dogs to approach each other in an arc. And once the dogs approach each other and start their circle investigation, where they're sniffing the mouths or the snouts, where they're sniffing the genital areas or the anal areas, they will be spinning around each other. And pet parents should also spin around the dogs while the dogs are spinning around each other. It should look like the two pet parents are dancing around a maypole. Let's take a look at how this would work. Remember to leave the leashes loose. Allow the dogs to approach in an arc. Allow the dogs to circle around each other. And then pet parents should break off the meeting before there's any tension between the two dogs. Now, in order to break off the meeting, pet parents should not yank or jerk on the dogs. They should happily call the dogs back over to where they are and then cheerfully walk off. According to Jean Donaldson, usually in these cases when two males meet each other, right after the meet and greet, they will normally urinate on the next vertical surface. A lot of pet parents might find it difficult to leave the leash loose. They want to hold on tightly just in case there's an incident. Unfortunately, a tight leash can actually cause an incident. Additionally, if a dog is constantly meeting other dogs on a tight leash, this could cause tension, and it could cause the dog to start not liking other dogs or to feel fearful about other dogs when being approached. Now, I'm not saying that you should let your guard down. Even though the leash is loose and pet parents should be relaxed on the outside, on the inside they still should be vigilant and ready to calmly and playfully break away in case there's any sign of trouble. And the best way to avoid trouble is to catch it early before it turns into a snarl or a growl or a snap. Some things to look out for: flag tail, where the tail is sticking straight up, a quivering tail as opposed to a wagging tail, tight lips, lips forming a C or an O, wide eyes, white showing of the eyes, dilated pupils. A quote from Jean Donaldson's book titled Fight: "A key skill is that of being bubbly, loose and happy on the outside, but vigilant and planning for emergency breakaways on the inside. This ability to maintain high situational alertness without any telegraphing of tension to the dog takes some rehearsal and confidence." End quote. Another quote from the same book: "Walking up red light, green light style, keeping the leash loose as the dogs meet muzzle to muzzle. Note, it's the handler's job to keep the leash loose here, not the dog's. Keeping up a steady stream of happy talk, and then the handlers following their dogs smoothly around during a circle investigation to avoid tangled leashes." End quote. Remember to use the services of a skilled, experienced, and highly educated professional, especially if you are unsure of the temperament of a dog. If you already know that a dog has some reactivity or aggression issues, or if a dog has injured other humans or other dogs, then you don't start off with such a meeting as the one that has been demonstrated here. Instead, you should use desensitization and counter conditioning to help the dog feel better about other dogs. In order to use this process, you will start with a dog as far away as possible so that the reactive dog is comfortable. This could be 50 feet away, 100 feet away, or 300 feet away. Just have the dog far away enough so that the reactive dog doesn't react. You stay below threshold. And you start treating and praising the reactive dog whenever he or she sees the other dog. And slowly, day by day, week by week, month by month, you can work on getting the dogs closer and closer together. This can take time, and once again, use a professional to help you with this. Another thing to consider, especially if you feel like you're too nervous to let the leashes stay loose, is to have the dogs wear basket muzzles. Any type of muzzle might keep the dog somewhat safe, but a basket muzzle is better because dogs can pant while wearing those. But remember, a basket muzzle is not 100% safe. If a dog tries hard enough, he or she can probably claw their way out of a muzzle. This concludes our presentation on doggy meet and greets or owner-facilitated mutual circle investigations. If you have any questions on this subject or any other dog-related issue, please go to sapaws.com, sapaws.com. Look for Puddin's training tips. Click on her site and click in the comments section on one of our articles to ask your question. Also check out our Facebook page, Stubby Puddin, STUBBYPUDDIN. Thank you.